Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Hey, there you are. Oh, man. Welcome to Thursday. So, before I start the show today and we tell you who's coming on the show, I needed last night. You know, I work for a really good guy, and I'm not saying that because he's listening. I don't know if he is yet or not. But, you know, yesterday I had Homes Outdoor Services. If you guys need something done in your yard, I'm giving a big, fat endorsement at 903 to Ethan Holmes for doing just some outstanding work on my house. You know, he came by yesterday and he told me he'd drop off some rock for me. Little did I know, Ethan not only dropped it off, but he spread it across my driveway, made a walking path for me, reset my stones. Looked awesome. And the boss let me slip away just because I thought I was going to have to do a lot of the labor. It was done for me, so I had a great afternoon. Then into the evening, it was cool because I got some really exciting news that I can't share with you. It's not my news to tell. You'll find out in 2 weeks, but some things all I can say are meant to be, and I'm very excited to see what happens. But at 9:03, we have a great show. Theater Thursday, Alton Little Theater. They will be joining us 16 minutes or so. Lee Cox in studio. We're going to talk Alabama story, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about the 90th season. We won't have that cool intro for the next couple of segments because we're getting all the material for that 91st season, so we can add it all to it. We're talking to Lee. Luis joins us at 10:10. We're going to be talking about the St. Louis sports scene, and then at 10:35, we're talking to the principal of St. Mary's. We're going to get the latest as they have a really cool open house event coming down the pipeline, and we'll get all the details and ways that we can be a part of it. But if you want to be a part of the show today, like always, you can text me, 618-759-7469, and let me know what's on your mind. I'm excited. So, during the winter months, before we go into news, you kind of get down in the dumps. You're going through Groundhog Day every day because the sun sets at 2:45, and by 4 o'clock, it looks like it's midnight in the summer. Well, I just finally caught my second wind. I don't know if yesterday kind of helped some things, or just the way the world's kind of been going for me the last couple of days, but I'm really excited about the next couple of months, and we'll see what happens. That's all, I'm just ready to keep growing, having some fun right here in the heart of the 618. We'll take you to top of the hour news now. 9:05 is the time on this 7th day of March, and we'll take you to Edwardsville first. Dan Brandon is our content director, and he does report the following here at 9:05. The Edwardsville Police Department did provide a warning to those who plan to party this St. Patrick's Day weekend because, well, it's here. The reminder was for community members to make sure they drive sober and get a designated driver if they are out and about. St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner, and many Illinoisans will be celebrating with parades, parties featuring green beer and cocktails, said Edwardsville Police Lieutenant Brandon Whitaker. We want to remind motorists of the dangers of drunk driving to help keep our streets safe. The Edwardsville Police Department is teaming up with the Illinois State Police and Illinois Department of Transportation for a stepped-up traffic safety campaign. Whitaker said because St. Patrick's Day falls on a Sunday this year, they, quote, anticipate that alcohol consumption will increase both that day and throughout the weekend. Whitaker pointed out that St. Patrick's Day can be a dangerous one on America's roads due to increased alcohol consumption and drunk driving. There were 272 lives lost in drunk driving crashes over St. Patrick's Day holiday between 2017 and 2000. and 21. In addition to looking for alcohol and cannabis impaired drivers, Edwardsville Police will also be stepping up seatbelt enforcement, particularly at night when seatbelt usage rates are at their lowest. Speeding, distracted driving, and all traffic laws will also be strictly enforced. Whether you're attending a party or hosting friends or maybe even just going out to a bar, keep safety at the forefront of your mind both day and night, Lieutenant Whitaker said. Other important tips for this campaign is drunk or high, it doesn't matter. It's never okay to drive impaired, designate a sober driver, or plan to use public transportation or a ride service to get home safely. Use a rideshare service or a local cab company. If you do see an impaired driver on the road, pull over and contact law enforcement. Have a friend who is about ready to drive impaired? You take the keys away and plan to get your friend home safely. And always remember to buckle up. This St. Patrick's Day enforcement campaign is funded by federal traffic safety funds from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, administered by IDOT. Out of Alton, new Route 66 experiences will be added along the last 100 miles of Route 66 in Illinois with the announcement of over $850,000 in grants from the Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau in partnership with the Illinois Office of Tourism and the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The grants will fund 5 different projects along the Mother Road in anticipation of the 2026 celebration of the famed highway's 100th anniversary. Wow. Among the projects in the new RV park and campground at the Pink Elephant Antique Mall, a new Route 66 mural at the Skyview Drive-In, and a drive-through Route 66 shield, along with a new neon sign park planned for Granite City. We want to be ready for the 100th anniversary of the Mother Road with top-notch service and quality experiences along the last 100 miles of Route 66, said Great Rivers and Routes President and CEO Corey Jobe. He continued, the interest in the Mother Road, both from domestic and international travelers, is increasing annually, and we see firsthand the need to create strong attractions and experiences. A total of $300,000 in grant funds will be used to create the Area 66 campground and RV park at the Pink Elephant in Livingston. The project will also include electric vehicle charging stations at that facility. Grant funds will be used to create an electric experience in Granite City as the city's ghost neon signs are brought back to life. A block of the district will be transformed into a new experience called, quote, It's Electric on Route 66, and will include replicas of Route 66 neon signs, a music bandstand, and EV charging stations. The project will be paid for with $425,000 in grant funds. Grant funds are also earmarked for the following projects: $45,000 for a drive-through Route 66 shield at Country Classic Cars, interior and exterior upgrades to the Artisan Cafe in honor of its 100th birthday in 2024. $25,000 for a 20-foot by 60-foot mural of the Skyview Drive-In in Litchfield, and $20,000 for near gateway entry signs for the City of Girard in partnership with the city and the Girard Chamber of Commerce. Together, we are creating memorable experiences with incredible partnerships at the local and state level to make this all happen, Mr. Jobe said. Also, back here locally in Alton, Sydney Sinks reporting that Sacred Spaces of Care Executive Director Megan Tyler was recently recognized as the Emerging Women's Leader Conference in Springfield. State Representative Amy Ellick invited Tyler to the conference hosted by the Illinois House Republican Caucus. Tyler was honored for her advocacy work with mental health and substance use in the Riverbend community. It's so encouraging to witness such strong advocacy and leadership that allows the voice of mental health to be amplified, Tyler said. Thank you, Representative Ellick, for this honor, opportunity, and for your continual support. I am humbled both personally and professionally as the leader of Sacred Spaces of Care. At the conference, Republican Minority Leader Tony McCombie and Springfield Mayor Misty Boucher gave a message that was inspiring and full of wisdom and humor, Tyler said. During a conversation facilitated by State Representative Jackie Haas, Tyler spoke about caring for your own mental health while fostering wellness for other people. Sacred Spaces of Care is an Alton-based nonprofit that provides mental health and substance use support to community members. Acting as, quote, a one-stop shop, end quote, the organization helps people connect to resources and support services throughout the community. For more information about Sacred Spaces of Care, you can visit their official website, sacredspacesofcare.org. That's sacredspacesofcare.org. At 9:12 out of Alton, Dan Brandon reporting the Salvation Army announced on March the 6th that it surpassed its 2023 Red Kettle goal of $217,000 by raising more than $368,000 to help people in Madison County. Campaign organizers said the total includes donations made through mail appeals, corporate gifts, unsolicited gifts, and Schnucks Roundup at the register, and of course, those donations made at those red kettles throughout the Riverbend region. Karen Roberts, who co-chaired the campaign with her husband Mike Roberts, said they were so inspired by the charitable individuals, families, and groups who make the campaign a success each year. Roberts said the collection, preparation, and distribution of Christmas gifts was a remarkable work of charity. Also in the news today, out of Alton, Dr. Aaron Amatola was recently named Chief of Surgery at Alton Memorial Hospital. Dr. Amatola is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon with a subspecialty certificate in sports medicine. Dr. Amatola has been with BJC Medical Group since 2010 and on staff of the Alton Memorial Hospital and OSF St. Anthony's Health Center in Alton for the past 14 years. He serves as the team physician for Alton High School, CM High School, Edwardsville High School, Lewis and Clark Community College, and SIUE. He previously was the assistant team physician for the New Orleans Saints and the New Orleans Hornets, Loyola University, and the University of New Orleans basketball teams. Dr. Amatola received his Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Xavier University of Louisiana and his medical doctorate from SLU. His training includes the Harbor UCLA Medical Center, Charles R. Drew University, Louisiana State University, the Ochsner Clinic Foundation Program in New Orleans. Congratulations to Dr. Amatola on that wonderful acknowledgement. Out of Godfrey, the Godfrey Meat Market is going to be celebrating 15 years of business this year, and their food and prices are, well, as consistent as ever. Owner Ian Warford explained that the Godfrey Meat Market sells hot meals every day as well as cuts of meat and meat bundles. They also cater events or can prepare a catered meal to go for your private parties. He tries to look for the best meat and the prices out there. For Warford, it's all about quality control. As a chef by trade and a wine connoisseur, Warford has a long history in the food business, but taking over the Godfrey Meat Market in 2010 was still challenging in some ways, especially as he adjusted to owning a business and analyzing costs. The challenge intensified during the COVID-19 pandemic when prices for meat and supplies skyrocketed. Warford remembers the cost of plastic gloves alone went up 400%. Like a lot of businesses, the Godfrey Meat Market had to make some adjustments to account for these rising prices. But Warford has made it a point to stay as affordable and consistent as possible. Most of his prices hasn't changed in over a year, including the meat bundles. He noted that it's important to him as a small business to support the customers who support him. There are plenty of choices at the Godfrey Meat Market with over 15 meat bundles and specials every day. You can check out the meat bundles for anywhere from $49.99 to $249.99, depending on how much meat you want to stock in your freezer. Warford promises a nice, big, filling meal for $12 every day for lunch and plenty more options depending on what they have in. The business will soon offer corned beef and cabbage and make more specials for St. Patrick's Day as they plan to bring in more meats for grilling and barbecuing as the seasons change. You can visit godfreymeatmarket.com. That's godfreymeatmarket.com, or call 618-466-6111 for more information about specials, deals, and more. And we would like to thank the North Alton Godfrey Business Council for giving us the opportunity to share more information about our local businesses in that respected district and to have Ian on our program. Let's take a look at weather. 9:16's the time. Lee Cox is waiting on me outside the studio. It's 47 degrees. It feels like 50 today. It'll reach 57 degrees today, drop down to 52 overnight. We have an 88% chance of precipitation today. This morning, we can expect to see clouds with a couple of showers at times, and tonight, mild with rain throughout the evening. Coming up on Friday, a 90% chance that we're getting thunderstorms, a high of 65, a low of 40. On Saturday, a high of just 49 degrees, a low of 31, a 60% chance of rain. On Sunday, a high of 56, a low of 33, and on Monday, we're back up to 70. How about that? A high of 70, a low of 40. But let's take a look at Clark Bridge, see how that's looking in downtown Alton. As you can see, those clouds hovering over Clark Bridge and all of downtown Alton and all of its glory right there on our RiverBender.com Skycam. You can see that camera in real time all the time at RiverBender.com/weather, and for time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. It's 9:17. We'll take a quick pause. Our daily show will continue right after this on RiverBender.com. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
DJ Mike Keith.
This is where I am today. Let me show you where I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. You couldn't hear that. 9:20.
I need to remember live radio.
Well, you know what's funny is, you know, the best parts of the show are when we turn our microphones off, and they're just kind of sitting there going, what in the hell are they talking about over there?
It's like I get to see my adopted son a couple of times a month.
We get to chat it up a little bit. Well, you know what's funny is normally it's never anything heavy. It's just kind of like, what are we doing after this, you know? But there's some times where I'm like, man, this would have been a better segment if we had the mics on now. So coming up in 8 days.
Yes. Yes, thanks for reminding me.
So let me look at all of you really quick. In 8 days, Alabama Story is hitting Alton Little Theater, and this is really such a cool play. This is one that is going to be gaining national attention, already has.
Yes.
And it's going to be a play where I'm not being funny, guys. You're going to go, damn, I wish I saw this at Alton Little Theater before it went on to the big runs, and you're paying $800 or $80 just to park, you know, or get nosebleeds.
Exactly. I do think, like To Kill a Mockingbird, like The Miracle Worker, I mean, I think this will go down in history as one of those really important plays, and we're just so fortunate that coming out of the pandemic, Kenneth Jones, the playwright, who lives in New York and very protective of his script, as he should be, finally relented and said, okay, I'm going to take a chance on some community theaters. And we were the first in the United States.
So I didn't realize that portion of it. This is a big opportunity for you guys as well. You know, and that's why I hope people realize this isn't a quote-unquote political play at all.
No, and I wouldn't do that. And he has licensed it to 60 shows, 60 theaters throughout 2024. But we are the first in this area, even though it takes place in the deep imagination of the South in Alabama. And it's based on a true story. That's the other thing that I think is important for people to remember, because we think, oh, that couldn't possibly have happened in 1959. But yes, I was still a child in 1959, spending my summers in Houma, Louisiana. So I can tell you, oh, yeah, it could happen.
How many people lived in Humboldt, Louisiana?
240 people.
No kidding.
But it's been wiped out now by the last hurricane. They're trying to rebuild, but unfortunately, most of the horses, there's horse farms, and most of the horses just ran away. Just some are living in the bayou, some are living
Could you imagine, though, like 4 months later going, is that Tony? You know, walking in the
exactly.
But in all seriousness, so that's a great point about this being this isn't someone's interpretation of what things looked like in today's climate back in 1950. This actually is based on real events. Yeah.
And because we've talked about Mary Cordes in the library here. They are my heroes. They not only help me personally, I don't want to lose public libraries.
No.
They are so valuable for any community, and we have a wonderful public library here. And so in studying famous librarians who went to the mat to fight for books, to fight for, integration of libraries, all kinds of things, we've kind of dedicated this play to Julia Hampton and Emily Wheelock Reed and all these wonderful librarians who went through some very hard times to have information be available to all citizens. And information is the key. You know that. Yeah. We're not trying to say you have to feel this way or this way. Just read, think, discuss, and then figure out what you want to do.
Well, and that's a good point, because sometimes we catch flack here because they go, well, this is just a lot of these stories are just general information. Well, yes, because they're news stories. They aren't biased stories where we kind of throw our opinion in there like others do. And that's what it's glad to hear you say that, because in today's climate, they think, well, this is just copied and pasted. No. It's called non-biased reporting, where we tell you the story, here's what happened, now it's your interpretations that take it from there. Whatever you think, if it's right or wrong, you go for it. And that, getting back to the Alabama story portion of this, that's what I hope folks realize the most, that this is really a true event. And all we're doing is having the opportunity to have this really up-and-coming play that's going to be a mainstay early on.
Oh, very early on. In 2019, it hadn't even been published. When the rep did it, it was just pages of dialogues that the actors sat around reading and trying to think about. And then it was going to be a showcase up in Springfield at the Lincoln Museum. Now it is published, and with lots of notes and lots of variations. If, in fact, you can cast it with 6 or 9, I chose 9 because I wanted to give more people an opportunity to be part of this. And so then that changes the dialogue a little bit. And I'm hoping...
Is it a drastic change?
Not drastic, but some of the language has to change as to who's responsible for that. And we have a brand new actor who just relocated from Chicago, Dennis Freimeyer, and I love him. But because I hadn't worked with him, I thought, oh my gosh, he already has these monologues. And I thought, do I want to have him play 3 other characters, which is done in some productions. I just wasn't sure our audience would catch on. That he was just trying to have some fun and do that. So I actually cast those 3 characters and got just some wonderful men, just wonderful. We have 7 men and 2 women in the cast, and it's wonderful.
Well, I saw the photo, of everyone reading their scripts away and having some fun with it, and it looks like, to see some of the folks that I've gotten to watch on stage, or maybe even, kind of go on stage with, you have a really talented cast. I mean, that they're up to this task, because this is important. And in terms of being serious, you have someone who's very protective and rightfully so over their work.
Yes.
And you got to have a good cast to put this on and really bring this to life. And you've done that by finding these really just talented individuals.
And they've been so helpful. I think I shared with you last week, the most difficult challenge I had was you have to have 5 copies of The Rabbit's Wedding. And because theaters are now doing this show and it's out of print, you cannot find 5 copies, but the library found the 5th copy. They're giving us an extended loan on it through the loan system. All over the United States, they can find a book for you.
What's funny is Mary and I just talked about that on Monday, because I said Lee was just on last week, and she said yep, and she was talking about just some of the things that in the collaboration, and it's it's cool to see 2 local organizations that are so instrumental, because to me nothing's more important than public resources like the library, but also public arts, because arts is the only way really for anyone that's not an athlete or that's too old to play sports anymore to express themselves.
Exactly.
And it's just so important.
And when I say that we're your community theater, I'm not just doing that as a little promo.
No.
We're rooted in the community. We never received any state or federal funding. Like there's no tax break, there's no nothing.
Right.
So in fact, it is the people of this community, this not very moneyed community, who have supported us for 91 years.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we have to try and keep everybody alive here. And I have such pride in our library and the fact that this play is about one little children's book that starts this
Wildfire.
Wildfire, yeah.
Well, and now if you're just tuning in, the show is March 15th, 16th, and okay, let's do this times right because I do these wrong all the time. March 15th, 16th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd are all evening shows.
Yes, 7:30.
And then March the 17th and 24th are the matinees that sell out faster than,
Yes. Well, because some people don't like to drive at night.
I love
get
the
it.
Sunday shows, though.
Well, and we're going to add a Saturday matinee next season. Not this season, but yeah, that's one of the things because you already know we're doing Singing in the Rain in May, and so many people, so many tour groups. We even have, though, a tour group from one of the high schools coming to see that show. And so I thought, we're going to not have any room on Sunday. So we said next year we're going to add a Saturday matinee.
So
we're going to try it. And then if there's a big demand, we'll go ahead and do it again at night. That's exhausting for the actors. But when we audition, we say there is a chance we may be doing a matinee and an evening.
And all it takes now is for all of you to go to altonlittletheater.org and get your tickets.
Yes.
What I think's great is you guys make going out and having an enjoyable evening affordable. You go and try to do something like this and see especially a new play that no one's ever really seen before. Go to, any other big city, St. Louis, New York, or Chicago, you're paying a lot more money to go see this, even at a community theater in those areas.
Oh, absolutely. And I know people love musicals. I love musicals, but they are so, so expensive. We barely make a cent. I mean, literally a penny. Every time I look at the script for Singing in the Rain, I'm like, how many characters? How many times do they change clothes? What are they doing? Not to mention,
Do you just
creating the rain. And I'm like, okay, how much was that PVC pipe?
That's what I was wondering. Did you just read the dollar signs in every sentence now on that script?
I do, but we were very fortunate that on the plays, in fact, the other playwrights next year, they're new playwrights but published, and I'm so glad they send me plays, and I told you about 1 out of 10's a keeper. And they're just delightful to work with because then I can ask them questions.
Right.
And, we talk back and forth, and Kenneth Jones, who is the playwright here, he desperately is waiting for pictures. I said, the set is all finished, but we don't generally do costumes until next Sunday. So I said, I'll get some pictures, and then we can go from there.
Well, I just really hope that you guys get tickets, and there's 2 ways that you do it. 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205. Phone number to the box office.
Yes.
Is anyone there right now?
No, soon. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, you can start calling and ringing that phone off the hook. Michael will be excited for that. And then you can go to altonlittletheater.org and get your tickets online. And I really encourage you to do so because, I don't know if this is the case, but just my assumption. If, more and more people start checking these shows out and enjoying them, then you're able to do more with Alton Little Theater, I'm sure, too.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is our ability to plan the whole next season and just keep the lights on. and all the
in all
expenses,
seriousness, because, we never really talk about that because it's not the glamorous side of entertainment or the glamorous side of business, but there are costs to things. And, and I hope the folks realize, and I don't ever see this happening, but, God forbid if something ever happened, it would be one of the situations where a lot of people the first day would go, oh my God, we got to get Alton Little Theater back. Well, you could have just bought tickets and kept it going, you know?
Yes, the pandemic was tough. I mean, we were lucky that we had our own building, but it used a lot of our reserves, and just because you still have to keep the heat on and the air conditioning, and even if there's 38 people there, you have to do a premiere performance for them, and so that was rough. But we know we were lucky, but coming out of it, people would still say occasionally, oh, I didn't know you reopened. Well, we never closed. 40 days, the governor made us shut down, and we built things and did everything, improvements the whole time. but we never closed.
Well, and that's what I think shows your determination for the mission. You know, Alton Little Theater as a whole, the determination, because, you know, a lot of people took COVID as an excuse to take 2 months off. And not just 2 months, but a couple of months.
No.
You guys didn't. It was all hands on deck and trying to keep the ship afloat and trying to keep it all steering forward. And
we all had masks on, and you should see, you know how big the foyer is.
Right.
We'd eat lunch across the room so we could take our mask off.
Well, and it just shows the commitment, you know, and that's what I think the world's missing anymore is people don't have the commitment they used to on projects because there's always the next up and coming thing and we all want to grab our hands on the shiny stuff. But you guys really do each and every day. It's like the first day you ever walked in the doors as the executive director. The passion's still there, and that passion's what we're losing in America. I mean, we really are.
I'm so proud of our younger generation, though. We just have some terrific kids. A lot of them came out to audition.
Really good.
For Singing in the Rain.
Awesome.
And I don't think Kevin's ready to announce the cast yet, but it's almost done. He's looking for some guys who can climb up that wall, who can do that Donald O'Connor flip on that wall. I know that's one thing. He's got a couple of guys kind of competing for that, but their schedules we have to work. Everybody's busy, but
yeah, you're right.
I'm so proud that we're doing the youth program again this year. We have 2 weeks of classes in July, and then we do a little free showcase for all the parents and everything. And we try to get those kids really to love live theater. And they do. We're missing your age to about 50. Everybody's raising kids, being busy, working 2 jobs, playing sports.
You're right. But you know what they aren't doing is finding the work-life balance because it's great to keep going 100 miles an hour, but eventually that gets to you. And if, you know, I do my segments with Centerstone like I do with you guys, and that's one thing we talk about all the time is you have to have some avenue to let the world kind of cool off a bit. And I encourage you because when I went, every time I go to a show, now different being on the stage because you're, you know, sitting there going, I hope I don't have my Kramer meltdown moment, you know, and all that nightmare stuff. But when you're watching it, you just escape.
That's why we have 4 weeks, 5 weeks of rehearsals because everybody has that night where it's like, why did I want to do this?
I just thought about it. I told John I had the worst panic attack. I woke up one night sleeping because I had this thought. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have an absolute tirade on stage. What happens if that happens? You know, what do I do? But, you know, seriously, if you just go to a show, you do escape. There's no cell phone in your hand, no kids screaming, running around by you, just folks ready to enjoy some quality entertainment.
And I want them to talk about the show. It does not preach. It really presents information. And my fondest hope is that people will talk about it. And can they relate? There's no good and evil. Even the senator, who Jake Tenberge does a wonderful job of being kind of slimy and charming.
Sounds like a good senator.
He funded the library. I mean, because he loved Tom Sawyer growing up, and it got destroyed in a flood. But then he just gets it, his craw, that he doesn't like this little children's book. No. And he decides to run his whole platform on that, and he gets enough national attention, and then he can't back down.
So you got to keep going.
From it, yeah, because once he's in the limelight, even his old crony and his mentor tells him, give it up. Give it up. But he doesn't listen to him.
Well, and that's what I think is, you hit it right on the head, because you and I were talking, and maybe there is a disconnect for folks out there that thinks it might be, you know, this current day and age thing, and it's not.
No.
Never in the slightest. This is about an event that happened. And, you know, there are, of course, some correlating things because history correlates and repeats itself.
It does. But in 2019, truly, it was so beautifully written. And I did love the characters because it's a wonderful Southern story.
Yeah.
And I just was enchanted that they were based on real-life people. I had no idea Florida was going to ban books. I had no idea. When I looked at the calendar, I didn't think, we're going to be in the middle of a political campaign and people are tired of this. I just wanted a beautiful play that people would be interested in.
Well, and that's the thing, too. It's heavily researched, too. It's not someone's interpretation. It's truly a research piece on what happened during this time period.
Yes. Oh, I told you, the first thing playwright did 60 pages of typewritten notes of his research, which he was willing to share. I mean, I think he worked on this for 4 or 5 years. That's why it wasn't even published, because There were some family members who didn't want to use the real name, but they let him use a name that was very close to the character's name.
Before we take a quick break, I got to ask you more about that, because to me, being a playwright, I could only imagine how easy of a job that is to get your shows out there and get people to take them, tongue-in-cheek aside. It's probably an amazing opportunity, for these playwrights like, Kenneth, to have their shows being, displayed throughout little theaters across the country. Is that like the farm system for how things go up the ladder? Does it always go to the main stage first? How does that work?
Well, there are few plays, not many musicals get developed for Broadway. Not many plays.
Really?
They usually start in regional theater, repertory theaters across the country, and then they get fine-tuned, and then they hire a star. You know that.
Yep.
Even on Broadway, to sell a play, they have to have a star or two, because to fill, they're trying to fill thousands of seats. We're trying to fill a couple hundred seats.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I never knew how that broke down. So is there what happens after, if it goes well, to just more community theaters pick it up across the country?
Yes, every day, not every week. Every day I get something from the 5-6 big royalty houses about new releases and things to read. And I love to read books, obviously.
Right.
But I probably do spend 60% of my time reading new plays.
That's really cool. 9:41. We'll take a quick pause. I learned something today, right here on our daily show.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
DJ Mike Keith. This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. We're missing Lee Cox real quick. 9:47. As we await the return of Lee in the studio, let me fill you in on ticket sales. I need you to get tickets for Alton Little Theater because, you know, they got somewhat of a family tradition going on down over there on, in Alton. I love what they do. And you can get tickets right now to Alabama Story and, be a part of the show. You know, and even if you don't know if you're going to like it or not, maybe you're kind of hesitant, all that fun stuff that goes into play with this, well, listen up. Take a chance. How many of you can honestly say you've been to a live theater performance in the last year? Raise your hand. I don't see anybody raising. You still got to, test the waters here. You still got to try it out. Plus, you're going to an institution, the Alton Little Theater Institution, and that's why I'm so happy to talk about them and hang out with Lee Cox, who, is always willing to lend a hand and give us her insights to Alton Little Theater, as they're one of our oldest institutions here in the heart of the 618, and they do so much great work with performers coming in and out of, the St. Louis area, and some of them coming from pretty big stages in the region that are coming back to Alton Little Theater, giving us their talent for all of us to do something crazy. Watch this. Ready? Cell phone, you put it down. It's a new concept. You don't have to touch it. You just enjoy what you're watching by, a live performance. You don't have to text about it. You don't have to take pictures. You just have to immerse yourself. And that's what Alton Little Theater does better than everybody, is just truly immerse the audience in that story, that escape from the real world. I mean, listen, it's State of the Union night, and there's a lot of pundits talking. I've already seen every social media feed. I'm tired of it already. I already got my State of the Union drinking game ready for tonight. There's so many things going on in this world that stress you out, that frustrate you. How amazing would it be to have the opportunity just to go and escape for a couple of hours? Go and escape and just be entertained by the best performers in the region. And welcome back from the tour of downtown Alton. You got your steps in. Lee Cox back in studio.
The lights are magical here. They go off all the time.
So I won't stay here at night anymore. I swear. It was 7 o'clock at night in the studio when the lights went off out there, and I have never been more scared in my life.
Yes, if you don't move, they're are going to go
Yes, it's terrible. And it's like, I feel, by the end of the show, when everybody leaves, it's like I'm down to 10 minutes and the lights turn off, and I feel like the newly divorced dad, when your kids leave the first time and you're just kind of sitting there depressed. That's kind of how it feels down here.
Well, our founder, Dorothy Colonius, is said to haunt our building, and there are some wonderful, weird things that happen once in a while. But of course, I know that Dorothy protects the theater and is so protective of
Right.
me. I've had things where I was like, nobody's going to find me, and then suddenly someone shows up, and they do.
Right. Well, here's not the same way. I don't know what the heck is floating in this building, but they are not happy people. I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
They still wanted the bank to stay here.
They're still mad about the feds,
Well, it was the biggest bank when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was. And, anyway, getting back, I did about a 5-minute live read for us. We just kept talking ticket sales. I wanted
good,
to
because
really,
I gave you our brochure.
Yeah. And I wanted to really hit on these two because this is beautiful, by the way. Who did this?
Thank you. Oh, Schwarzkopf Printing.
You did a wonderful job.
We use local businesses every chance we get. I mean, the royalty houses are in New York and Chicago.
Right.
I can't help that.
Yeah.
But everything else is local.
Well, if it's okay, can we talk about the upcoming season?
Absolutely, because the tickets go on sale for early birds during Alabama Story. The March show and the May show is when you can get your ticket. And absolutely, if you want Sunday afternoon, this is the time to buy them, because then you are guaranteed that you will have that seat.
Right. And listen to this ticket price. $90. If you wait until September to purchase, which is still cheap.
Right, you're still
affordable.
saving $25 right then.
Or
yes.
from March 1st through May the 31st, enjoy a $5 off coupon good for any extra entertainment show.
Yep.
Or studio show. There's 5 choices, plus June 1st through August 21st still saves you $5 or $10 per couple.
Right, yeah, it's $85 starting now, and then it stays that way, but you get the $5 off coupon, so that's even more. And yeah, we have 5 main stage shows and 5 extra entertainment shows, so you can pick. But I think I'd mentioned to you, even if you wanted to see everything, which there's only 1 month, April of 2025, that we don't have something, but give me a little time, I'll come up with something. But it's $210 if you wanted to come every single month. But
Right.
if you just want to get your season ticket and then choose out of the extras because you're just interested in one thing or another, then that's just fine too.
Absolutely. Do you mean March? There's nothing going on? I'm confused.
Next March.
Oh, next March.
Oh,
okay.
no, but it's next April. And I just had a call this morning from someone who used our building 2 years ago, and he said, hey, do you have any space? And I thought, he's not going to believe me that we don't have really space, because when you do the musicals, that takes Kevin 7 or 8 weeks to get that set up and make it safe. And
how many people do the bigger theaters have for stage and decorations and design?
More than we do.
No, I mean, I'm curious, because what Kevin and Brett and Brett and you guys do in 2 or 3 weeks or 7 weeks, I mean, it's pretty impressive that a team of 2 to 3 people can accomplish what they're accomplishing on that stage.
Well, it's like today, we all have our painting clothes. We all have our, and then it's like, okay, we have a meeting at 1, Kevin, so we have to go change, get down there, and then come back. Then he's like, what time do you have to start rehearsal tonight? 6:30. Okay, run home, eat something, watch the news.
Well, and that's what's so fascinating. It just shows your commitment to it. And now, as we're talking here, let's just start off with some of the shows coming down the pipeline for the 91st season.
I know.
How about a family comedy? I like that, Lee Cox. September 20th through the 29th. This is Making God Laugh, presented with permission from Play Scripts.
Yes.
Directed by Christy Doring.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. She directed one of our studio shows. She's the main director at Alton High School. Her daughter has been in a couple of productions, and we love Christy. And one of the directors who was slated to direct that took on a brand new job, and it involved some nights, and good for him. I mean, their family, they're trying to build a family and everything, so good for him. But I asked her if she would consider it. And Sean Grennan, the playwright, for those people who came to see beer for breakfast and love that. This is another one.
That was a fun show.
It was a very fun show. He understands the fun and dysfunction.
Right.
And there's a crazy mother in that show, which I'm dying to audition for, but we'll see who else shows up.
One show that will sell out, I think, before you guys even get to the 91st season, hear me out here, will be A Christmas Carol. I 100% think that this show will sell out before July. I have no doubt in my mind. It's one of my... I've seen it over at the big stage over there, which is beautiful, but... I love the story. It's one of my favorites.
The Rep has done it 4 years, and my God, their costumes are gorgeous. But John Jakes, who is the historian, you may know him.
Yeah.
He did a new rendition of this. It's about to enter the public domain, and so before it did, he wanted to do a special show that community theaters could stage.
Wow.
And it's gorgeous, and yes, we love knowing that people bring their children and grandchildren, but they can do it a lot easier at our prices than over at the repertory company.
This is what I thought. I mean, for somebody right now that's watching this, get your season tickets, but also purchase about 3 or 4 of these Christmas Carol seats, because that's the perfect Christmas gift for your older adults in your life, or just a friend, family member, your kids, to go do something fun for the holidays.
Well, and we decorate the foyer. We always have some specialty things. And a couple of, our ushers said, oh, gosh, you're going all the way through the 22nd. I said, they actually have a show on Christmas Eve usually. But we're going to the 22nd. And I volunteered Michael and I said, we'll be there. We'll usher. I want people to come and enjoy the decorations and enjoy the show, and come with friends or come with their family.
Well, and that's why I'm just all these shows look so good, Lee Cox, and I'm very excited about them. But I want to give a shout out. Director Randy Manning, how about this? The X is coming in January 24th through the 2nd of February. Fill me in on Randy's Is this his debut as a director?
It is. He's directed his whole business of
he's good
Murder Mysteries. He's very good. He's a very talented actor. His instincts are just excellent.
His energy's pretty up there,
and
too.
His energy's up there. He's funny guy, but he learns his lines. He's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be an actor and a director. It takes a special kind of blend.
I bet.
But he sold his business to his daughter, so he's semi-retired, although he's letting us use his rehearsal space this summer for some of the kid things, because he has some wonderful space there where he lives.
That's so cool.
But yeah, he read this show and he said, but I really like it. I want to be in it. And I said, well, how about direct it? But you never know. We don't usually recommend that the director be in a show, which is kind of why I'm not doing Making God Laugh, because I love that crazy mother role.
Well, can I ask you about what is I've never heard of this before.
Okay.
The 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
You're showing your age. It's been around for 25 years.
When I was born.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very funny show. And young adults, play these interesting characters as high school students. And it's just a small town. It's really a salute to small towns and how hard the teachers and the principals and everybody were. But there are just the cutest songs in the world. A lot of the people who ended up working on Broadway musicals actually started out with this show. This is when you were asking me, could it go from the farm to Broadway? This one did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But it was so popular with audiences, and it kind of changed a little bit. They wanted to use more puppets, and it became a bigger show.
Really?
And then it quickly went back to regional theater and came back to community theaters. There was only a couple of years where we couldn't get it. And so it has been done in the area maybe 2 times, maybe 3. But it hasn't been done in a while. And we really thought, and it was way down like Waterloo.
Oh, okay, so miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, I want our audiences to enjoy this.
Well, that's really cool. And then the last major show is women of a certain age.
Yes.
And this is directed by you.
Yes, it is.
Fill me in.
And I love the show, but I shouldn't be in it. But we have these women. I know we do, because they're really talented women who, in our youth-obsessed society, after 50, it's like, well, you're just supposed to be a grandmother. But see, grandmothers work. Great grandmothers work. But finding something that you want to do, and one of these women just decides, I'm not ready to give it up. I'm not ready to just be old. Mm-hmm. And so she comes up with an interesting solution and enrolls her friends in that. And so it's a comedy. It's really very funny, but it's great for people who just say, don't discount me.
Right.
Because I'm over 50.
Right. Well, and then let's get to extra entertainment really quick.
Yes.
So this is really cool. May 31st through June the 9th, you're doing a Disney tribute.
We are, and I worried about the royalties, but Disney actually has many of their favorite songs in the public domain. You have to still pay a fee if you're going to wear a costume and pretend to be this character. But the song you can sing, you just can't look like Woody, or you just can't look like Aurora. But we figured out a way to do it for not too much money. And when we did the Disney concert down here at the amphitheater, it was a huge success. 4,000 people saw it, but it was hot. And
what?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. I didn't know you had 4,000 people down there.
Yeah, it was a one-night concert. And the sad reality is we could have made a lot more money than we made down there because of the cost. And I feel for the city, and I feel for anybody who performs there. The lighting, unless you pay $25,000, $30,000.
So people thought I was being a little biased the other day because I was talking to the Amphitheater Commission and we were talking about the cost of shows, and I made a point that said, if we're only going to have a good of a show as you want if you put the money out to do it, because they don't understand that cost alone.
Yeah, they didn't. They brought in the B team, not the A team, and by 7:48 it was dark, and the lights weren't the lights they should have been, the microphones got wet, and the sound guy didn't know what to do, and we had kind of some people come and try and see our girls changing clothes. It was not a horrible experience, but it wasn't the best. So we waited, but we have the costumes, we have the wigs, we have a lot of things. So one of our young members said, let me do this, and let's get the pancake guy. He's over in St. Louis. You've probably seen him. And he does the pancakes, and he entertains the kids, and then he throws the pancakes, and I'm looking at the carpet cleaning, but I'm like, it'll be so much fun. And Becca Peach is one of those new people that I'm talking about. She's on the board.
Oh yeah,
she
came on the show once.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just adore her. And so it's time to let her do some new projects and take over. So that's just kind of a little fun one. But I can't believe you haven't mentioned Rocky Horror yet.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So we got Oliver coming up August 2nd through the 11th.
Yes, big. We try and do a big family musical, and people might think, well, wait, isn't Bill Sykes kind of a bad guy? He is, but we root for her to survive him.
Right.
There's beautiful music. This is like what you would go to at the Muni, and I love the Muni. Don't get me wrong. Sat in the free seats my whole childhood.
Right.
Doing that. But for people to be introduced to a classic musical for $27 and not $127.
No kidding.
Is very important because, again, people can't even take their teenagers, even if they don't want to take the little ones. Our youth prices under 18 are 18.
Right.
So that's a really good deal.
Well, and then getting on to Rocky Horror the musical, this is really cool. How'd you guys get the rights to that? That's a big deal.
We call it a cult following, which concerns people.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the people who have seen it 6, 7, 8 times. And again, Becca and her crew asked me if we could do it at midnight on Halloween. I said, no, wait. Halloween is sacred here in Alton. We have the parade, but it's over at 10:30 at the latest.
That's true.
So everybody's going to be in costume anyway.
That would be really fun.
Oh, yes. And Michael and I volunteered. I volunteered him because the ushers were like, we won't get home until 3 a.m. I said, Michael and I will usher that night. We'll have a blast because, there's all kinds of audience interaction and people do dress up. And then if people have never seen the show before, they get a special notice as virgin to come see the show.
Well, and too, Halloween's on a Thursday night.
Yes.
So that's
take off Friday.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. I already got my day planned for October 31st. And then the best of the best Broadway coming up the pipeline November 23rd and 24th.
There are lots of shows. This is a vanity project, I admit. There's lots of shows we've always wanted to do. I mean, Phantom of the Opera, even Chorus Line. Well, we can't do those shows.
No way.
But we can do my favorite songs from those shows. And we have beautiful gowns and we have tuxedos and we can make it really special and do some of those numbers. And again, it's not the same as seeing the whole show, but many people, the season tickets at the Fox, and goodness knows they're hurting, but starting at $800, and that's not for all the shows. You get like 4 shows. So I just want to bring a little taste of some of those Broadway shows that people have said, I wish I could have seen Phantom. I wish I could have gone and seen that.
Do I even need to plug the youth acting classes? Because we talked about these last year, Lee, and I knew whenever you announced them, they were going to go like hotcakes. And
well, except this year we're changing the format of 2 solid weeks in July. And I don't know. The problem is we did 9 weeks, but the kids kept having vacations and other things happening. And you do it over July 4th weekend, just forget it. So it is a commitment. But on April 28th, we're having an open house at the theater because we want so many kids to audition for Oliver and know about that. But we also want them to sign up because we have to limit it to 12.
We'll do something on that. We'll do something on that open house and get more folks there, too.
Yeah, because we get calls. I get emails all the time or through the website that people have a young one. And it is difficult. We try not to compete with the school programs, but I am amazed how many kids are homeschooled. I really never knew in our area
it's growing.
It's growing. It is totally growing. In fact, I would say a third of our class last year was homeschooled.
100%. So I said that, and it's even before all the scuttle at Alton High School last year. It was before that. It started to grow before that during the pandemic, and now it's getting to the point where you're seeing more and more homeschooling opportunities. And it's kind of it's not alarming to me, but it's just a head scratcher, where I'm trying to find out what the reasoning is. Not like it's right or wrong. It's just curious.
Right. And in fact, we provide the docents not only to greet the boats, but downtown when we have tours. And when we were at Lincoln Douglas Square in the heat, 110 degrees, I can't tell you how many parents were taking their homeschooled children on tours. And they go 12 months a year.
Yeah.
They were down there in the summer, and they said, could we just listen? I said, of course you can listen. The city's paying us. You can listen. you can listen. But they enjoyed it so much. So we are trying to, again, promote and say, we're very open, and if you want to bring a group, we have 2 high schools that we've never had before bringing groups of students, and we give a discount, and I even go and talk at their career days about careers in theater. But we also want all of the homeschools who are networked.
Yeah.
They really do communicate with each other to think about bringing kids to the theater or having them in our class.
100%. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot I have a career fair at Alton High on the 27th of April to go to.
Tis the season. I've got a bunch of them.
We'll have some fun. We'll grab lunch during one of them. At 10:08, Lee Cox, thank you so much for your time.
You are welcome. I enjoyed seeing you, and I enjoyed news down here, and you guys have been great and get the word out for us, and it's harder and harder.
We'll just keep doing it.
The saddest thing is when people say, well, how do I find out about it? And I'm like, oh, come on, please.
Well, when I have that, I always say, are you one of the 600,000 people that saw the wallpaper in the 3 days?
Right, but we do have a local radio station. We do have your show. We do have online.
You got to choose not to find it at this point.
Exactly. I'm like, do you have a phone? We're not on TV because I think a 4-minute spot was $1,800 4 years ago. I can only imagine.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. They all thought I was lying to them.
No.
They thought that I was lying for a year. And you guys did. You sent me text saying, oh, they don't do that over in St. Louis. All those shows are pay to play, okay? I hate to tell you that.
Getting up at 5 a.m. and then trying to look wide-eyed.
Look good for spending $4,000, for 4 minutes. And that's why I'm so glad we do this here, because, what's funny, Lee, we're on TV too, and that's what I think's amazing. Yeah. 35,000 Roku channel downloads, and it shows that people care about local, and we don't make you pay the mortgage of $4,000. That is just insane. Just insane.
It really is, because they get chatter, and you have content that's like, nothing.
Yeah, and then you leave going, man, I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, all the time. 1010, AltonLittleTheater.org, AltonLittleTheater.org. Man, I am behind. Luis Noya calls us in for sports next. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
DJ Mike Keith. This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Oh, 10-14. Hey, before I talk to Luis, I just want to say something real quick. The Mammoth story, we're down at the Can you tell them I'm in the middle of a rant here? We're down at the Luis is down at the Enterprise Center. We're going to get the latest on Arch Madness, but this Mammoth story that's on Facebook that's giving our competitor credit for something, I broke that like a year ago. You know, it was like amazing, Luis. I was reading the story today on Facebook, and I'm like, well, this isn't new. I talked to the guy that found the mammoth like a year ago.
Also, you get your news from Facebook?
Well, no. I just saw that they gave a news organization credit for this thing, and I thought, well, that's not theirs. I broke this like a year ago in October. Anyway, just a little crabby about it. Just a little crabby. Broke it in October. Don't get credit for it. That's okay. We move on. Hey, how's Arch Madness? You were at the Enterprise Center.
Yeah, I think we just got our last practice in for all the teams in. So again, it'll tip off out here at 12 p.m. You can either watch it on Valley Sport if you're in the car. 550 KTRS is your home for the Valley all this weekend.
Man, that's
so.
So does Carney get the afternoon off?
Yeah, I think everybody gets the afternoon off except for Heidi. She has to do a 45-minute show.
Oh, that stinks. Oh, man. That'd be a tough spot. Well, what are your thoughts with the Arch Madness tournament? What teams are looking good to you? I always think Loyola always really impresses me in the tournament, and Drake does too, correct?
Yes, but here's the thing. Loyola is no longer in the Valley. They moved to the A10 2 years ago.
Did
so
they really?
Again,
oh man,
they did. So yeah, so you will not see Loyola in the Valley. But Drake is good. Indiana State is a favorite, and they got one of these players, right? This player screams not only Arch Madness but March Madness too. His name is Robbie Avila. His nickname is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Is he real? Is that what they?
Because he is great. He wears the goggles. He is good on the post. And also he was named first team, the All-Valley team last night. So, again, but Drake is one of the favorites. Indiana State's one of the favorites. Obviously, there's sneaky teams here all the time. With again, everybody can make a run. Again, SIU can make a run here in this tournament if they get hot. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what I'm going to be very curious to kind of watch through and see as that tournament plays out. But, take me through the sights and sounds of it. What's it look like at this point? How many practices do these teams get before the tournament begins?
No, they get one practice in Enterprise Center. So, again, we just got, UIC just got done with their practice. I think that was the last team practice. So now we're just ready to game nose. Yeah, so again, they practice throughout the week. So again, the practice here at Enterprise is good because they can get adjusted to the sidelines. Again, this is a bigger arena. This is probably the biggest arena they will play in the year. So again, they're just adjusting to the sidelines and whatever, and 3-point serves and whatever. Just going into the locker rooms too helps a lot too. So yeah.
All right, I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay.
Who is going to be walking away with this crown?
I think it's going to be Drake and Indiana State final. I think we'll gotta get Indiana State in, and then we might get a 2-bid team.
I think
here for the Valley.
I like your prediction, but I'll go with Drake in that game over Indiana State. That way, we'll keep it lively over here. I am a little unnerved, Luis.
Unnerved? That is Sunday work too.
Thank you very much. You're listening to NPR. I am so unnerved. so unnerved because Sonny Gray, who we just spent millions and millions of dollars on, is now tweaking his hamstring for a third time in as many years. You know, I'm not saying that this is, a disaster scenario. I'm not saying it's pack the wagon and let's get the horses taken care of. All I'm saying is optically, because the public is not informed on how the sports organizations break down. Optically, it's a terrible look for the Cardinals after a disastrous dumpster fire of a season and just an embarrassment in PR for 9 months that your opening day starter after one or two games in spring training has a tweaked hamstring, and now it's questionable. I mean, that is the last thing anybody in that front office wanted. And it's honestly, I hope that's not the tall tale sign of the season to come.
Yeah, again, it's like if Sonny Gray it's healthy, if, again, Lance Lynn doesn't give up 40 home runs, if Kyle Gibson stays healthy, it's again, there's the if is a lot of ifs, and it's like, I think, again, this team will be better, but again, my prediction, they'll finish third.
I agree. I 100% agree, because I said it the other day. I was listening to this if thing, and I said, well, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't be working, but guess what? I haven't, so I'm still working. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the same concept. This if stuff needs to stop, because I think what we do is the Cardinals go, well, if we all play our cards right, and a lot of teams do this, well, if this works and if this falls here, then we'll have this to come in. We need actual tangible stepping stones to rebuild this team after becoming just the laughingstock of baseball last year.
Yeah, again, it's a rebuild of image too, and they... Again, this season there's a dark scenario here that this season starts very, very slow.
Yeah.
And there's no recoup from that for the next year and a year and a half, not because of doesn't matter whoever the manager is.
No, it doesn't.
It's a rebuild from the people that develop players, from people that scout players, to people that are paid to evaluate players to see if they cannot be Cardinals too.
Well, and now that's another thing, too. And we aren't, because you're right, it needs to be a whole shakeup. I don't think, and this is my prediction just now watching, I don't think Ali Marmol is going to make it out of May. That's my prediction. I really think that they're going to have such a slow start that they're going to have to kick him to the curb to keep moving forward. Now, I don't know if that happens. I just think it's going to. Here's the other thought. It's only one bad year. But when this starts to happen, Luis, where you have one bad year, and maybe this year, if it's not the best, and then the next year after that, it's not the best, then that's when people start raising their hands in terms of the corporate welfare that goes on for the St. Louis Cardinals, who has been receiving all of this luxury TIF money. Well, now all of a sudden, when you have a bad product, your numbers aren't going to correlate the same as they did 12 years ago. So how are you going to feel comfortable going back and asking for more and more tax breaks when you aren't producing the same amount of economic impact that you did for over 30 years?
Again, I think the Cardinals will still do that by fine, even if they're bad again this year, because all the people, the impact will be seen next year. Actually, if they have back-to-back bad seasons, right?
Well, I mean,
so that's one thing.
Well, here's my
because fans still bought tickets. So far with the fans at the end of the season, they didn't attend it.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't attend at the end of the year. They gave up. That stadium was half empty for diehard Cardinals fans that were always with this team. They quit going. And I mean,
we're announcing 39,000 fans. I can count the 25,000 people in the stadium.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. It's not like I'm saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but eventually, if this keeps up, there will be an alderman or alderwoman or some type of political figure over there raising their hand and wanting to look at numbers.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It will be very, very brave, and some people might call it very, very stupid to be in St. Louis and fight the Cardinals.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean,
Again, some people might call it brave. Some people might call it stupid. That's not my opinion. That's just how it will be seen.
No. It's just a thought, though, because the more this goes on, the more that you're going to have people start raising their hands and look. Because you can't tell me this is sustainable for 3 years. There's no way.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not even sustainable for this year, right? So that's why, again, your viewing is right? If the Cardinals have a bad April, a bad May, Ali doesn't have a contract for next season, so it's very, very easy to say, okay, we're going to pay you. Here's a check for what we owe you. and be happy.
Right.
Not managing the St. Louis Cardinals.
Is Matt Carpenter playing yet, or is he still?
He has played here and there. Again, spring training games. Here's my thing. In the age of technology, Valley Sports Media West hasn't carried all the Cardinals games in spring training.
That's weird.
That's weird. Again, KMOX has the MLB stream or the KMOX stream, but it's like I want to see the game. I don't want to see again. God love plays, but I want to see the game.
Right. Right.
So again, but he's been playing. He's again here and there. Again, he's not going to be. Again, Matt Carpenter is the last man on the bench. He is basically, they're paying the league minimum to be a de facto player coach.
Well, can you hear me out on this? And
Go ahead.
This is coming from me. People need to get off of Matt Carpenter. I pick fun at the guy, but he's at the end of his career. Granted, if you're Matt Carpenter and you just went through the ringer of free agency, of being traded after being signed, just let the guy take the win. You got paid your last year. He has some value in terms of just some of his experience. Hell, even if he only gets 22 at bats, Luis, who cares? I know,
yeah, and again, I agree with you with that. It's like he is not gonna again. If Matt Carpenter is playing the field day to day, there's a bigger problem on the team, right? There's a bigger issue.
Right. You're 100% right.
So again, let's celebrate Matt Carpenter for the player he was when he was a very good player, an all-star caliber player. Again, yes, every player has his downfall. Every player has his bad moments. Maybe they can recoup that, maybe not, right? With certain people, right? But let's celebrate him. He is here as a de facto player coach. Again, they're paying him what's the league minimum? It will be $700,000 something, right?
Right.
So it's not a chunk of money that the Wids are shelling for him, not like the last contract he got here.
Right. Right. That was a different story. Hey, let's talk the Blues real quick because I got another interview here at 10:30. How are the Blues looking?
They're looking to get to tomorrow because again they are losing a lot of games again. They're out again. They're not out of contention, of course. You're not out until you're eliminated, but. And here's the but. This team is spiraling out of control on the right time for the trade deadline. That's tomorrow. And see how many people go from New Jersey to Madison Square Garden still wearing a Blues jersey.
Ooh.
Because that's where they're at. They're in New York. They're going to play Jersey. And on Saturday, they'll play the Rangers. So they got a back-to-back. They play. They're not back-to-back. It's Thursday. They play tonight in Jersey and then stay in New York and then go on Saturday. Tomorrow they don't have no games, so they have all day long to hear trade offers, say yes or no to people. I still think Pavel Buchnevich is one of the players that will be traded to.
100%.
Also, on a note of the trade deadline, Vladimir Tarasenko got traded to the Florida Panthers yesterday.
Well, and that just shows you that nobody can stand this guy. He was a princess when he was in St. Louis. The guy was, a talented player, but got in his own head far too much, and now he doesn't have the same luxury he had with the Blues, and that's being a tyrant to your teammates. He's just going to get traded more and more.
Here's the thing. He got traded to a Stanley Cup contender this year.
He did. But I think it's because they really just wanted to get rid of him. I really do. I don't think it's
because
Ottawa
again. Ottawa knew what they were doing when they were signing. It's like, you're going to play here for, 4 months and bye.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that.
If you play well, you're going to get your trade value up, and it's going to be a win-win for everybody because knowing Tarasenko, he's from Russia too, but again, there's a thing being the cold in your hometown, and there's being in the cold in Ottawa.
Yeah. 100%. All right, Luis, what else is coming down the pipeline? City, how are they doing?
City, again, they won their last game against New York FC on Saturday. It was a dominant fact. It looked like the city of the June, right, whenever they were rolling. So it wasn't the city that followed like a shit tent. They play on the road on Saturday night. And, again, obviously they got eliminated from the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So, again, they only have to worry, as of now, only MLS games.
There you go.
So I think that will be better for the team. Obviously, you want in the future this team to advance a lot longer in these type of tournaments because these tournaments count too.
Well, and that's something that we'll keep an eye on. Hey, Luis, before I let you go, you tell that buzzer sounder offer guy that if he has to do that again, he better call me next time.
No, I think they just put a little bit of house music here, so that's good. So again, instead of the buzzer, it's a little bit of house music here now in Enterprise Center.
Well, there you go, Luis. Enjoy Enterprise, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
10:29 is the time. We'll come back more of our daily show after this. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
DJ Mike Keith. This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. There you are. 10:33. Welcome back to our daily show. You know, coming up on March the 16th from 9 to 11 a.m. I love that time frame, by the way. St. Mary's open house set in stone. We have Sister Antonia. Did I spell that right?
Yes, you did.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I was nervous. Principal Rivera, did I do it? Did I pronounce it right?
You did.
I got it all right? I didn't botch anything today.
We are so proud of you because you're a graduate.
I am, and I hope the boss is watching upstairs today. You know, just in case, you know, that conversation for a raise comes up later along the year. Doing good stuff. Just wanted to make sure. With that being said, I love St. Mary's. I love the school, and it really propelled me to be so much further ahead. And the reason is in 5th grade, I left and went to public school to start the transition to being in middle school because I knew that's where I wanted to go. And I was so far ahead, it was scary. I mean, I was actually scary. I had straight A's for an entire year, except for one progress report where I had a B, and that was it. And
that's awesome.
And it's you guys that prepared me for that. I mean, it was just wonderful to hear that education paying off in that private parochial level. And with that being said, you have the opportunity yourself to check it out. Fill me in on this.
Yeah, so you know, at St. Mary's, we really harp a lot and try to get out to the community just what we stand for, which is faith, family, and education. We really focus on those things to another level. And so when you talk about things like being able to excel in your classes, those are very important for us. Those are, you know, academics are very important, and we're doing a lot of really great things there. Sister and I were just talking about our 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Our entire middle school actually just competed in Junior Olympiad, and Sister had a Post-it that some of the kids sent her with because they were like, well, make sure you tell all these great things too.
Yeah, please do. Fill me in.
7th grade placed first place in the Junior Olympiad. The 8th grade placed second, which I'm sure the 7th grade was totally proud of. And the 6th grade placed third. And so, like, they literally brought home all 3 trophies.
That's incredible. Congratulations to all of you guys out there. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just parochial schools, it was public schools. So they were competing with all of the schools at the same level.
Was this a statewide competition, or how did it break down?
So I don't know that it's statewide, but it's regional. It was at SIUE.
Really cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, 40 different teams, and so like she said, we were able to bring home 3 trophies, and it's not just the Junior Olympiad. You know, we have excellent test scores. We have students that are taking placement exams for high school that are ranking in the top 10%, even with top scores, the top scores. And that is a direct reflection of our faculty and what they bring to the table and the hard work that they put in every single day. And I can tell you as a parent, I'm not just a principal, I'm a parent, and that's what drove me to come to St. Mary's was the education, it was the faith, and really that family dynamic, which it's just amazing.
Well, and that's what's really cool. And we'll dive right into the open house here in a second. But what I love is that at St. Mary's, you celebrate everyone's accomplishments as they're your own. Because, like you said, Mary, you're a family. And as a family, you celebrate those achievements, even the little ones, just to say, hey, we recognize you. Now we're going to keep pushing on to greater things. But also what you guys do so well is the critical thinking skills that are so crucial. When I was in 5th grade, I felt like my critical thinking was 10 times of that of a middle school student in the public schools. And it was because of the spiritual learning that I was able to learn through St. Mary's and those type of valuable lessons that you learn, but also the instructors. And I'm going all the way down to, preschool when Miss Smith was still, Miss Smith was still the teacher there, and all those levels, you're getting quality education no matter what grade you're at St. Mary's.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Even at our preschool level, we focus a lot on social emotional learning.
Yeah.
What is appropriate? You can't throw rocks at people, but you can talk to them.
You can't bite them.
You'll find that out the hard way.
Me and Sister have to have that conversation. But those are things. But then while they're learning those things, it's okay for them to also learn the academic pieces. But we do have a well-rounded curriculum, not only with things from the extracurriculars like Junior Olympiad, but to be able to have things like band, our in competitive band this year. Art, and our art teacher, she just has little Da Vinci's going out into the world every single day. It's
they're
amazing.
Well, even just band. The other day I was sitting in my middle school classroom, and all of a sudden there was about 10 kids, a combination of both elementary and middle school kids. They set up their little drum set, and they're like, "Sister, is it okay that we use your class to practice our drumming?" Mr. Morris is going to come in? And I said, sure. So I spent the next half an hour grading papers and listening to, I don't know, my new jam of just tapping, like loud. But it was great.
Well, and that's what I think, in a world right now where parents are kind of nervous about, school settings and, regardless of what the last year brings, this is something that's been decades in the making, is that kind of, what quality level of education, and not just that, but relationship building and those personal skills are my child learning in the school systems. And at St. Mary's, to be able to have that to where, it seems like just a normal Tuesday, here's a bunch of students that come in and needed a place to play. So yeah, here, go ahead, I'll grade and you guys can go ahead and keep going. And I think that's what parents are looking for right now is an education system in which a moral compass is being enriched, and on top of that, the communication skills that are going away more and more with the social media world, and then the quality education on top of that you guys do. And that's why just every box is checked when you go to St. Mary's.
Yeah, absolutely. We want our kids when and they really are. They're our kids.
Yeah,
just hear that.
100%.
They are. I didn't say
They
our
are.
students,
Yeah,
our kids. And,
yeah.
and we tell our families that we mean that. The second that they walk into our hallways, probably the second that I even get an email, I have a tour later today, they come in, they become like an extension of our family.
100%,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I would treat this person's child no differently than I would treat my own. And so our goal is not just that they do get these top test scores, that they do place. I mean, we love those things. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what are we preparing them for when they leave our hallways has to be at the top of everything. Are we putting people into this world, this dynamic world that is ever changing, prepared not only with the skill sets they need, are they able to do those things, but also do they feel loved? Do they feel confident? We are not going to let our students go into this world and get kicked around. And so they know that we're their family even long after that. We had one of our students, he's actually been back a few times, but we had two of them that graduated, and we did a Veterans Day program. We have a huge Veterans Day program every single year, and it's wonderful. We are very, very closely linked with our veterans in our community, and that's very important to us. But two of our graduates that are currently at Marquette Catholic High School, they will be entering the service after graduation. And so to be able to even bring them back and to be able to celebrate that we love what you are doing and we see what you are doing, and we are still right here with you as you're doing that.
So I don't know if y'all have ever seen these, but, they have these videos that go around, social media. They're the nostalgic videos of, what school used to be like, and that community atmosphere where you're celebrating those holidays, you're getting together and, non-school related functions just in the campus itself. And that's the lost, I think, art of education is that village, mentality. And whenever you look at St. Mary's, whether it's Oktoberfest or the wonderful things you guys do through the year, you keep that family community atmosphere enriched. And that's what I think a lot of institutions are losing right now because people are either fearful of things or you can't do it this way because of new policy. You guys at St. Mary's kept it the same. And honestly, that's why I love what you do, because it really is a team. It's a family. It's a community. It's really a small town, and a school system is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's about building relationships with, we encourage our kids to, to love the Lord.
Yeah.
And if they don't know him, we still encourage them to love the Lord, whether they're Catholic or non-Catholic, agnostic. I mean, I have a few in my class that I can work with that, wherever they are. But yeah, it's definitely about building those relationships, whether they're in our classroom or whether they graduated. I have seen kids, 10, 15 years later, they're like, sister, I would like to introduce you to my girlfriend or my boyfriend, or sister, I'm getting married next month.
Yeah.
And this is my fiance. And that's absolutely beautiful. And even just the relationships, I think what is helpful is that the students also see the relationships between the staff. I would say, in my own experience, that the staff, they helped form and shape me. Because I went to K-12 public school. I had no idea how to teach in a Catholic school.
Right.
And so I came to St. Mary's, and, those women shaped me. We do have a few men on our staff as well.
Right.
But for the most part, those women have been my examples of how to teach at a Catholic school. And I'm extremely grateful for them.
Well, and too, I remember just some of the most important moments of my childhood were directly with St. Mary's. I remember being in Sister Petra's classroom when Pope John Paul II passed away. But it wasn't just that. The fact that a teacher or Sister Petra was able to explain the passing of a pope to 5-year-olds and the significance to that, is amazing, because I remember for 4 days watching that television, waiting for that smoke to come out of that chimney, and Sister Petra making kind of somewhat bets on things. I wasn't, it was like, I bet it's going to be him. I bet it's going to be him. But it's those things where you go through, and I mean, as a 5-year-old, I knew the process of how to elect the Pope. Mm-hmm. And that's because of the knowledge I instilled. So let's focus real quick on the open house, because this is for all of you to attend March the 16th. There's a lot of fun happening, I can only imagine. And fill me in. What are the shaboozis of this 9 to 11?
Well, I'm not sure if I know what shaboozis mean. He did not learn that from St. Mary's. However, yes, it was... Our big message we want to get out to everybody is that our doors are open. Our doors are open to everybody.
Come and see.
Come see what we are doing. It is like we are having this huge party at St. Mary's, and we want to make sure everybody has an invitation in their hands, knowing that we are open to you. And so from 9 to 11 on March 16th, we're going to have faculty, staff, all be there along with my Dean of Students, Mrs. Hogg. And so... we're going to be there just to share the good news and everything that's going on at St. Mary's. We'll be giving tours of the buildings. We have our own library. We have an art studio. We have a band. I don't know if those are called studios, but we'll just call it a band room. And so we're going to give everybody these personalized tours to let them know and let them ask questions. That's the thing. We want this to be personal. It is personal to us. And I know as a parent coming in, it is personal to them, and we want them to be able to go through and to ask the questions that make them feel comfortable sending their kids to St. Mary's. And so we'll have tours, we'll have some fun little activities happening that the kids can kind of hang out and do as well. And we're just really excited to share with everybody what we're doing at St. Mary's.
And going on top of the faculty and staff, you guys have the best. I mean, really the best, because I remember almost every one of my teachers, and not even the teachers I had, but just staff that were around at the time I was there, still to this day. You got Kelly Jacobs and Sister Petra, who was wonderful, but also it's the younger teachers that you're bringing in too. Like, I'll just tell you this right now. I see it on Facebook. Grace Moxley, who you guys brought in as a teacher, lives and breathes St. Mary's. And as to me, if I'm a parent, to see a young teacher really getting involved and promoting those students, I'm in 100%, because the new generation's practicing what the old generation did.
Talking about that, I would say for me that's also been a wonderful example, because as a sister, and even if St. Mary's is also a place where we have two religious congregations. So we have the Oblates of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and then we have our community, which is the Sisters of St. Francis of the Martyr St. George, where was I with this?
And just our faculty to have that dynamic of the younger and the veteran generation.
Yes,
it is.
Yes. Oh, what I was going to say is, we are known as sisters and priests to give our life to God in the church. But I have seen all of these faculty members literally give their life for St. Mary's.
100%
And that
over.
is amazing to me.
Well, and on top of that, think about the community atmosphere on top of what you do at the school, the church too. If you decide, hey, let's really go full stop. The relationships that my family's built with whether it's the priests or any of the folks over at the church level of things. I remember before Father Paul, who I wish would come back tomorrow because I just love him to death.
He's great.
He would go over to my grandpa's house every day when he was on hospice, almost every other day, and talk with him. Never wanted anything, never said, hey, I'm busy today. Anytime he called. And it's not just for him. I mean, so many of those priests do so many great things. The church staff do too. And now add on the school component to it, and you have the perfect community atmosphere to go about your day-to-day lives throughout the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Our diverse faculty and staff, and like you said, even our religious leaders and personnel that are having the sisters every day, that interaction, that is something that you don't get at any other school.
No.
And I can assure you, you do not get that. You don't get them playing kickball with the kids. You don't get them hitting a kid with a dodgeball.
No.
We often joke that we're going to put a GoPro on them, and and if you have a spot that we could start live streaming that,
I'm in.
Is everybody in?
I'm in.
Okay,
I would do that any day of the week. Coming up on Tuesday mornings at 9:55, we're going to be doing these.
But yeah, that's the thing, though, right? Like you have that diversity, and you have this culture. We have a culture that you just don't see anywhere else, and it is amazing across the board. People pulling together. Grace told me to tell you hi, by the way.
Oh, well, good.
And
Thank
so
you,
it
Grace.
is, the new young energy coming in, but also the seasoned veteran and everything in between that are able to drive what we do in our school. And again, not just in academics, just in the love that they have for these kids and for these families. It doesn't always have to be our students. No. The families get the same support that our students did because it's a one for all. If your student's coming, you're here with us too. You're stuck with us.
What is your favorite part of your day-to-day? And I know that's kind of a gotcha question, but I mean, I'm kind of curious to know because you have interactions with the faculty, the students, the parents, and I'm sure other aspects of it. But for you, what keeps you getting up at 5:45, 4:45 in the morning and getting into school?
It's the family dynamic.
Is it really?
And it is being in that drop-off line every morning. It doesn't matter if I'm dressed as a 90-year-old woman. It doesn't matter if we're...
She has been.
But it is being there to greet our families and to let them know, hey, I might look a little rough today. You might have tumbled out of the car.
Well.
But you know what? I'm here with you, and we're going to struggle through the day if we have to. But also, I'm here with a smile on my face, and everybody, the faculty, everybody, first thing in the morning that we're having a good day, and we're here to do this together. And if you're not having a good day, that's fine. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and come back, and we're going to fix this.
There's a realness to that, though, because I think right now in the education system, and just from the interviews I do and the folks that weigh in and comment, schools don't have that same aurora they used to. It's, I hate to say it, really kind of militarized and kind of prison-like, because you got to go through metal detectors, you got to show this and you got to show that just to go to the bathroom. I mean, how refreshing is it for a parent that maybe went to a third grade in a different school that's dealing with, make sure my kid has their ID badge on and make sure they get to this and make sure they get to that and I hope they get home safe. I heard there was an altercation on, such and such bus. But then whenever you fast forward to that and you come back to the realness side of things to go, school's a fun place. It's okay to enjoy the school grounds and enjoy learning and being here as much as you can be here.
Yes, and at St. Mary's, kids can be kids.
Yeah.
And we just love them through whatever happens every single day, all day.
With that being said, it's 10:50, and I got to pay one last bill of this show today. So on the 7th day of March, it's 10:50. Our conversation with St. Mary's comes back right around the corner after this in the heart of the 618.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
DJ Mike Keith. This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com. Or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again.
10:53. Welcome back as we wrap up this 7th day of March. It's a Thursday. Hey, speaking of schools, coming up tomorrow, we're going to be talking to some students at Marquette Catholic. They were named the best student section in the state of Illinois for their sports teams. And speaking of sports, I just talked to one of your sports teams, the boys basketball team that went and won 3rd place in state. Is that correct?
Yeah, they sure did.
Well, and that's what's cool. You guys offer the same opportunities as public schools, as bigger, parochial schools do, and you have great, solid athletic programs. The boys team has pretty much been a dynasty the last 2 or 3 years. So is the girls doing really good stuff too.
Correct. We have an amazing athletic and extracurricular program, and our athletic director, Abby Howe, I cannot speak
cool.
highly. She is wonderful. Her and everybody that she has brought on to our athletic staff, they make sure that they are finding ways to bring opportunity to our students.
Right.
And that's what we're looking for. So getting us involved in an additional league that our students can then go on and compete at the state level, and that they can do these things, making sure that we're offering different athletic options. So for instance, we have track, we have golf, we have cross country, volleyball, basketball, but not keeping to just the other sports maybe that, routinely and historically that schools have had. And so she does a great job. And our students, they excel at all of them. It's not just in our classroom. They're excelling on the sports fields, and they're excelling in the community and everywhere else.
Well, and that's what I wanted to touch on too, because we have about 5 minutes left in the show today. But one thing I always think is the most important is getting the youth invested in their community. And it starts as young as 5 years old if you can get them to do so. And, some of the ways you can do that, I remember being at the Optimus tree lot with my dad and all that at 7 years old, climbing on trees and pulling them off and setting them up and all that. But, it's amazing that you guys really do instill that, because that isn't really in the forethought of any school district's mind. If they want to do community school or service things, that's great. God love them. Good for them. We'll share it on Facebook. But there's not really any priority to that. And at St. Mary's, there is.
Yeah, we have service hours that our students do. Our families do them as well, especially to support the school. But we don't want it to just be supporting our school. It is a bigger calling that we go out and we be a support for other people in need. So whether that be being able to give different donations, or to be able to work at different facilities for like everything from animal shelters to charities that support families that are in need. We are so passionate about those things.
Or even writing letters to the homebound and to the sick. Even over Catholic Schools Week, I was able to take home, I would say probably about 50 letters to the convent, and then the sisters distributed them in the hospital and in the cancer center. And then later on that week, the sister came up to me and she said, "Oh, sister, you have no idea how much those letters meant to those cancer patients or the people in the hospital."
Oh, I could only imagine. And because when I had the delivery business, during COVID, I was the only one that was getting, they labeled me as crazy because I said, these people are being isolated in their homes. These mental illnesses are getting worse and worse for these older adults that have no one to talk to. And the fact that, just a little letter, could really change the dynamic of not just a day, but a week. It could change the dynamic of the next few weeks because that person feels recognized. And they're feeling recognized by your student being at St. Mary's. That's what I think's the coolest part of it, that your son or daughter could have a direct impact on somebody's lives through your guys' community service programs.
Yes, it has to be more than them taking tests and them passing a religion test and being told what their faith is, right? It has to be, what good is it if we don't put it into action, and that has to happen.
100%. Get over here, 100%. Well, Sister Antonia, I got to ask you the same question.
Yes.
Whenever you're interacting with your students, what to you is the most important part of that day-to-day interaction? Is it going through the educational material? Is it the personal side of things and checking in on how they're doing at home, or how's life just treating you? Or is it something different?
Well, for me is, how are they in their relationship with the Lord? But that impacts the rest of their life as well, whether 100%. It is with their parents or whether it's with their peers. and just building that relationship with them. And sometimes we have those days where they come in and I'm like, okay, we need to set aside whatever it is we're working on. And okay, what's going on, guys? You know, or even today, I had a different lesson plan, and then I decided to do something about Lent. And so one of the 4th grade boys was like, "Sister, is there Catholic rap?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let's check." And so we were listening to Catholic rap this morning. It was pretty great.
Well, and that's the thing. It's
and I'm not a rap person.
But the bottom line is, though, is that student is still learning, but learning in a way that they're engaged in it, you know? Because what's good is it if you're throwing up a slideshow that no one's taking notes for and just putting in one ear and out the other and ready to go play at recess?
Absolutely.
That wouldn't instill a passion for learning or for your faith, and that is what we are called to do, and that's what we're doing at St. Mary's. We're instilling a passion for faith, a passion for education.
I like it.
And for each other, you know,
Yes.
to really that family piece. I go back to that so much, but
we are definitely a family.
You are. There's no doubt about it. And as we wrap up this show today, we have about 60 seconds left. The floor is yours, Senator. Fill us in. Give us the elevator pitch on the open house, which is March the 16th, coming up here in just a few short days, 9 to 11 a.m., where you can check out all the amenities that do await you in the community that awaits you, the family that awaits you at St. Mary's. Take it away.
That's right. March 16th. Come check us out. Come talk to us. Come see what we are talking about. Come see what this party is that we're having, wraps and all, down at St. Mary's. and come let us answer your questions and to see what we're about and what we can offer to you and your family.
Absolutely. We are out of time today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll see you back here live at 9. We have Marquette Catholic. We have Alton Family Martial Arts and Fitness. We'll see if I get in trouble tomorrow. But on that note, enjoy your Thursday and try your best to stay out of jail.